And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this special edition of Grandstand this afternoon. And the babies take the spotlight out at Caulfield with the running of the MB Hang 10 Blue Diamond Stakes and a magnificent day of racing coming up. We also have, of course, the Caulfield Autumn Classic and not to mention the appearance of the super horse Vo Rogue in race 6, the St George Stakes out there at Caulfield this afternoon. The first event getting underway at 20 minutes after 12. We're also covering racing from Sydney and Adelaide today. In Sydney, the venue is Warwick Farm, and in Adelaide this afternoon there's racing at Victoria Park. And more particularly, a very, very special telecast today live from Auckland in New Zealand, where we have the appearance of the mighty Bone Crusher. And he'll be racing in the Air New Zealand Stakes along with Field Dancer and a top-class field there. And we'll be televising that event live at 10 minutes to 2, and also the Rolls-Royce Stakes, which is the second leg of the double there at Auckland, and that's time to start at 2:55 this afternoon. So a very big day of racing, and hope you can stay with us throughout the afternoon. Well, speaking of the big card at Caulfield this afternoon, let's have a look at the weather and track conditions first of all. And the weather for the big card out there today is fine, and the track is fast. So weather fine and track fast at Caulfield, and the penetrometer reading is 3.40. Well, let's have a look at the scratchings now for the big day out at Caulfield, with the first event, as I said, getting underway at 20 minutes after 12. And from the first event, you can take out number 3, Dynamic Dancer. Race 2 is clear. The third event, and here number 3, Lord Westminster, comes out. Race 4 is clear of scratchings. Race 5, the MB Hang 10 Blue Diamond Stakes at 3 o'clock. There are no scratchings in a full field of 13. Race 6, a late scratching here, number 2, Island Spy. Number 2, Island Spy, a late scratching. Race 7, take out 9, Tristram, 10, Lord Scotia, and 18, Top Avenger, 9, 10 and 18. And from the final event on the card, you can scratch out number 13, Green Arga. So there we have the scratchings for Caulfield today. And now let's go on to Sydney, Warwick Farm. And the first event at 12:40, take out number 1, Research. Race 2 and race 3 are both clear. From the fourth event, scratch 2, Swift Cheval, 7, Francet, and $8 Sterling. Races 5 and 6 are clear. Race 7, the scratching number 8, Cabaret Dancer. And from the final event on the card, take out number 1, Royal Handout. Now, Adelaide, and pretty light on for scratchings there, only 3. The track is fast and the weather is fine, as is the case at all 3 of our venues here in Australia today. And from race number 3 on the card, you can take out number 5, Sir Ivatan. Then we move over to race 6, number 11, Princess Seymour. And from the final event, number 1, Mighty Seymour. Now New Zealand, and the 2 races that we're covering there today, the Air New Zealand Stakes is clear of scratchings in a field of 13, and from the second leg of the double, the Rolls-Royce Stakes, race number 9 on the card, you can take out the emergency 17, 18 and 19. All right, there we have the scratchings for all venues today, with racing from Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide, and also the big program from Auckland in New Zealand, with those 2 feature races coming up, including the appearance of the mighty Bone Crusher. Now, the first event from Caulfield due to get underway, as I said, at 20 minutes after 12, and we'll check the approximate tote dividends as they stand at the moment.
They're tasty, tasty, very, very tasty. They're very tasty. They're very tasty.
And they've just jumped in the first at Caulfield. Here's Bill Collins.
It was My Day when they settled down into stride. Big Band over on the rails being eased back behind them. Now Jimalon the leader, and there's no pace on from My Day. Fayette County the outside, Numia Lass, and then Big Band a length to Equity Girl. Going to the judge the first time, My Day has gone up along the inside, given a bit more rain, and led a half length out of the straight from Jimalon. A length and a half to Fayette County, a half to Numia Lass, 2 to Big Band, and 2 away in last placing is Equity Girl. Going out of the straight now towards the 1800, and My Day has gone away about a length and a half to 2 lengths in front of the Tasmanian or the Taswegian, Jimalon. 1 to Numia Lass, they're slowing up again, and neck away Fayette County, and a length and a half to Big Band, and 2 lengths to Equity Girl. Going up to the 1600, there's no change in the order. Over the crossing there, the leader still bowling along My Day. Led about 2.5 lengths now to Jimalon, 2 lengths Fayette County, and neck to Numia Lass the rails. About 3 lengths is away next Big Band. He's starting to move him along a little bit as they clap the speed on the leaders, and a length and a half away last Equity Girl. climbing the hill past the 1400, and My Day had a lead of about 2.5 lengths, and the boys riding it along in front now to try and increase that break. In second place, Jimalon, 1.5 lengths Fayette County. Numia Lass smothered up on the fence, a little over 2 lengths to Big Band, and a length away last of all is Equity Girl. Over the hill, My Day's lead about 2 lengths. He's actually given it a crack with the whip there. In second placing is Jimalon, 1.5 lengths further back Fayette County. A neck away on the inside, Numia Lass. Equity Girl's moved past Big Band at this stage, and it's about a length away last. Down the hill they come in about 1,000 to go, and My Day led by 2 lengths to Jimalon. They were followed then by Numia Lass getting out off the fence. Equity Girl on the outside. It's very wide as the leaders bunch up with Fayette County, and 2 lengths away last is Big Band. They're past the 700, near the 600. The leader still My Day's under the whip. Equity Girl's moved up to be second. It's also under the whip, and a length away then Fayette County battling on from Numia Lass. Jimalon 1/2 away, and a length and a half. Big Band's going to be last into the straight. Round the turn, Equity Girl's right out off the track, and My Day is the leader. From Numia Lass, Equity Girl, and then Jimalon. Big Band looking for the run. He's got the run on the fence, but My Day's battling on in front. In second placing, Numia Lass. Big Band third, being switched to the outside. I don't know if he's going well enough though. With 100 to go, My Day still in front, holding Numia Lass and Big Band at bay, and My Day is going to win the first. About 1.25 lengths Numia Lass, a similar distance away third, Big Band. 2.5 lengths then to Fayette County. Equity Girl second last, and last of all was Jimalon. Official placings for the Hyperno Handicap. The first event on the program today. Number 2, the winner, My Day, ridden by C. Din, was being hard ridden almost throughout, but has responded well. Number 7 is second, Numia Lass, ridden by G. Doughty. And number 1 third, Big Band, ridden by R. Heffernan. The numbers 2, 7 and 1. Very disappointing, the favourite, Big Band. He was never travelling well. He was going about as well as the winner was, My Day. The only difference is there was about 4 or 5 lengths between them all the way. Neither of them were going well, but My Day has got a big heart and just kept going. It's by So-Called from Glen Sind, trained by D.L. Friedman at Flemington. Should pay $2.30 a win and $95 a place. Numia Lass should pay $2.10. There's no third dividend for Big Band. And behind it, fourth was Fayette County. Then
$30 for the win and 95 cents for the place. Number 7, Numia Lass, $2.15. And number 1, Big Band, no third tote dividend. Cornella, $16.40. And the trifecta paid $50.85. OK, that's the first event at Caulfield. Well, one young for his call of the first event on the card, the Governor Macquarie Handicap.
Praise Ophelia hasn't gone up to the gates as yet. Praise Ophelia is actually on the outside. The scratching research drew originally the extreme outer. So Praise Ophelia moves up now, and it shouldn't be long before we see them go. Comely Girl's been behaving nicely towards 6. Started not quite on his stand. Stellaris behaves well. There's a bit of a problem closer in, I think. Southern Express, the rider on that filly, was momentarily out of the saddle. Now he gets back aboard. The light still blinks away. Line just about right. Yes, starter on his stand now, ready to go. Racing this time, wide out. Praise Ophelia actually got the best of the start from Crenine. Musical Money away pretty well, and moving forward Ivory Lover, followed by At Court, and then comes Poetic Module. A length further back and getting up on the inside is Sons of Verti and Baytree, and Comely Girl are handily positioned in a tightly bunched field, and then comes World Party. Paris Weekend a little worse than midfield, and 2.5 Stellaris, a good gap Demon Duchess Trappings, and getting out of its ground Silver Hind, and the same can be said for Dasher Joy and Southern Express. Down by the 700 metres, and Sons of Verti just in front of Baytree. Comely Girl makes a line of 3 from Crenine, and behind those next on the inside is World Party. A length to Kazan, and off the track Praise Ophelia, Paris Weekend, Ivory Lover. Then comes At Court and Stellaris, and further back in proceedings on the inside is Trappings as they turn the corner from Musical Money, and 2 or 3 lengths to Demon Duchess around the corner, and Sons of Verti shows the way. A length on Baytree, and 2 lengths away next is is World Party, then Comley Girl and Paris Weekend. 200 out now. Sons of Verti kicked away. 2 lengths, Comley Girl battling on from Bay Tree, World Party and Paris Weekend. Sons of Verti getting tired. Here's Comley Girl grabbing an hour, and the well-supported Comley Girl races away. Paris Weekend will get home for second, but Comley Girl wins it well.
Right, we have a problem with the audio apparently from Sydney, but I can tell you that the numbers were 10, 4 and 7. Number 10, Comley Girl, the winner. Number 4, second, Paris Weekend. And number 7, Sons of Verti, third. 10, 4 and 7, as called by Ian Craig on the first event on the card. Now, apologies for that problem with the audio. Now, race 2 there, and it's due at 1:20. It's the Warwick Farm Autumn Handicap over 2,200 metres and 14 running with no scratchings. Let's check the approximates now for race number 2 on the card. And as we paid $1.60 for the win, 85 cents for the place. Paris Weekend returned 110, Sons of Verti $1.50, the Quinella paid $6.45, and the trifecta was $77.70. Now, race 1 in Adelaide is coming up this afternoon at 10 minutes past 1. It's the New Gleam Handicap, and there are no scratchings and a field of 11 to run. Let's check.
France moving in the stalls. The light is on. Ready. Racing. And over near the inside, Gay Perdita first out with Mary Bequick quickly racing to the lead. Golden Unicorns going fast from west of France and Iolani Bay. Ranchita and Spending are well up early from Sister Shirley, Taffeta Bow, and then My Abbey back in the middle of the field. Voltage seemed to get into a little bit of trouble there and drop back with also Luxury, another one who struck trouble. Fire Twigs in front of only 3 or 4 runners, and Crown Style is back near the tail of the field with Ebullience. Down the side at the 1,000, and Mary Bequick a half length to Ranchita, slowing them up now. One to Sister Shirley, Golden Unicorn the rails, 3 deep, Taffeta Bow, a length and a half, Spending Glorious Way, Gay Perdita the fence, then a length and a half further back, Hidden Power, followed by West of France, Fire Twig out wide, then Iolani Bay on the inside from Ebullience, and there followed behind those horses by Crown Style in that bunch. My Abbey's a long way out of it with Under a Cloud. On the turn with 500 to go, and Mary Bequick being niggled at now, only a neck to Ranchita who looks to have it covered. Out 3 deep, Taffeta Bow, Golden Unicorn, Sister Shirley looking for runs, then Gay Perdita behind them on the fence, and down the outside Glorious Way and Hidden Power. Ranchita raced to the lead in the straight from Golden Unicorn, who's coming at it quickly, then Taffeta Bow, Gay Perdita under the whip, Glorious Way still running on. Golden Unicorn got to the lead from Ranchita, and then Gay Perdita, and Golden Unicorn's going to win. Scores about 3 parts of a length Ranchita, Gay Perdita third just in front of Glorious Way. Then Spending Iolani Bay back behind them, Taffeta Bow followed by Ebullience, Sister Shirley. Fire Twig never really got into it from west of France. Crown Style well back with Mary Bequick, Hidden Power. Then came Voltage, and back towards the rear Under a Cloud and Luxury. Official placings for the Jewel Stakes. Trainer Angus Armanasco has started his Hang 10 Blue Diamond Stakes day well with training the winner, Golden Unicorn. Number 1, Golden Unicorn, ridden by Greg Hall first. Judge calls for a photo for the minor placings to separate Ranchita on the rails from Gay Perdita in the centre and Glorious Way the outside. That's how they'll finish. Ranchita will get second after the photo, and Gay Perdita will get third. Now, second placing has gone to number 5, Ranchita, ridden by G. Willets. And third is number 13, Gay Perdita, ridden by...
Gay Perdita, $2.65. Quinella, $16.30. Trifecta, $670.70. And the running double, $31.50. Well, we have a big day of racing in front of you, and just remember that Bone Crusher will be going around in Auckland in New Zealand at 1:50 Victorian time. We'll be televising that race live along with the second leg of the double from Auckland today, and that is due at 2:55. But Bone Crusher at 10 to 2, and we're certainly all looking forward to that, to see how he's shaping up for that impending clash with Vo Rogue in the Australian Cup. We'll take a break and resume on Grandstand in a moment.
flashing.
They're ready for the first in Adelaide. Ron
Natural
Patch.
Charm and the All White jumped away nicely out wide on the track. Easily beaten for speed on the inside, though, by Master Regent, who draws a length in front. Natural Charm from the wide alley, working hard to get across. With it, though, is going fast. Defiant Wonder to join the leader, and so too is Acid Test. Natural Charm still 4 deep, working very hard. Just in behind the Magic Quest, losing its position on the rail, hard ridden. Around the outside, there is another one, drops back sharply. Master Regent, goes Siberian Express and also Solac. They were followed by Supremacy, Top of the Stars. Magic's Quest lost its position badly. Further back, Star of France, and last of all down the side now is Regal Somerset. They've gone hard in front. Natural Charm has been completely without luck. She's still 3 deep. In the centre, Acid Test, and on the rail, Defiant Wonder. 2 lengths away then. Over on the inside behind the Master Regent. They look the only chances. They're 5 in front now of Siberian Express, Solac. Then Top of the Stars, Supremacy, Magic Quest, and further back came Regal Somerset. And last of all, Star of France. Natural Charm's never been on the track, but she's contesting the lead. Defiant Wonder, the first of the 3 beaten. Acid Test, the inside, and Natural Charm will fight it out clear then of running into 3rd placing Master Regent. It's Acid Test and Natural Charm. Siberian Express running home late. Acid Test has the nose in front. The extra distance telling on Natural Charm and flashing through Siberian Express. Siberian Express might have collared the pair to win. From Acid Test and Natural Charm, probably something beaten, fair to say. Then Solac, followed then by Magic Quest. In that Group 2 came Master Regent. They were followed further back behind those then by Defiant Wonder, Top of the Stars, and Star of France. And further back then Regal Somerset with those. And towards the tail of the field was Supremacy pulling up quickly.
Well, it's going to be a photo there in Adelaide, a photo.
Outside the old St Ledger enclosure. A few people down there today to have a look at the jump, and away they go. And one of the best away was Prince Approval. Devious Lady into stride quickly, as is characteristic, and then Western Ace, but it's going to be Prince Approval leading. And it's about 2 lengths clear as they come down to the judge from Devious Lady, Western Ace, wider Concord Flyer, then Snow Chief, Border Raid. Off the track is Remini, then Zamakima, Rheingard. A length further back comes Rossellini, and then on the inside, Paul Landic, 1.5 to Flying Gypsy, second last Graves Point, and Perfect Jet brings up the rear as they turn out of the straight and travel past the 1,700 metres, and Western Ace takes over now from Prince Approval. Not a lot of pace on, though. 3rd, Concord Flyer, and 4th, Devious Lady, last week's Tearaway. Off the track next is Border Raid, a length the Zamakima, Wonder Remedy, and then Flying Gypsy, Rheingard, Snow Chief, and Paul Landic, followed by Rossellini, and Graves Point and Perfect Jet are the last pair as they go over the crossing at the 1,400. And Western Ace by 3/4 of a length on Border Raid. Hello Moses taking off quickly on Zamakima. He wasn't obviously happy with the pace, and he joins Western Ace as they race over the back. 1.5 lengths to Border Raid, 3rd on the outside of Prince Approval, then Flying Gypsy and Concord Flyer. 3 Remini and Rheingard, and then comes Perfect Jet. Devious Ladies travelling shockingly from Snow Chief. Then Paul Landic on the inside from Grays Point and Wonder Rossellini. Onto the Riverside, 900 to go, and Western Ace 1/2 to 3/4 of a length on the favourite Zamakima. 1.5 away in the 3rd place, Flying Gypsy letting rip now, followed by Border Raid, Prince Approval. Snow Chief goes around them hastily. Then Perfect Jet, Concord Flyer as they bunch. Off the track is Grays Point from Remini, Rheingard, Devious Lady. A good gap to Paul Landic, and last is Rossellini. 500 metres left to travel here, and Western Ace only ahead. Zamakima 3/4 and 3 deep, Flying Gypsy. Then Concord Flyer followed by Snow Chief and Prince Approval, and Rheingard heads the others on the turn for home, and Zamakima on the outside, and Western Ace stride for stride. Concord Flyer comes into it, and then on the extreme outer it's Flying Gypsy. Zamakima having a struggle to get away from Concord Flyer, who heads off the favourite, and Concord Flyer to the 100, 1.5 lengths, Zamakima, then Flying Gypsy, Prince Approval and Western Ace, but Concord Flyer racing right away, and Concord Flyer by 2.5, Zamakima. 3rd, Flying Gypsy, followed by Grays Point, Prince Approval, Western Ace and Remini. A break then to Devious Lady, and then Paul Landic. Further back, Perfect Jet, Rheingard, Snow Chief, Rossellini, and last was Border Raid.
Numbers as called by Ian Craig at 12, 8 and 6. The winner, Concord Flyer, number 12. Second placing to number 8, Zamakima, and 3rd, number 6, Flying Gypsy. And the winner should pay about $4.35 and $1.15. The second horse, Zamakima, to pay round about 70 cents. And the 3rd place getter, number 6, Flying Gypsy, and it should pay around about $1.50. They're the approximate tote dividends for race number 2 on the card in Sydney. The 3rd race there is number 1, page 75, and number 2 Natural Charm 60 cents, Quinella $18.05, and the trifecta $115.95. Now that was race 1 in Adelaide. Now, Bone Crusher coming up in New Zealand at 10 minutes to 2, and that is the big race over there, the Air New Zealand Stakes, and we'll take a look at the approximate totes now, and I would imagine Bone Crusher would be a pretty warm favourite. In fact, he is on $1.15 for the win. And there you see the place tote figures on race 7 in New Zealand. Looking at the win totes, field dance at $13. Must be a sad day in a lot of ways.
Oh, very sad day, Peter. It was very sad in at DB this morning when we did our last programs, and my last foray into the studios. And you know, I cleaned out the desk this morning in preparation to go to 3UZ on Monday, and as I was walking down the passage, you know, you could almost hear the voices of the ghosts of Eric Welsh and Dick Cranbourne and all those other people who've gone before, saying, where do we go now? Because, you know, 54 years continual broadcasting of racing on 3DB, and it ends today.
Bill, there must have been a tremendous response from listeners this morning from the talkback programs, but just well wishes all the way through.
Yes, there has been, and the letters they've been pouring in over the last week, and people here at the course today, they've been coming up. I've got several little presents of roses and one thing and another from the ladies, and they're going to be tuned into 3UZ, but you know, they're losing an identity in 3DB after such a long time.
Well, of course, the interesting thing is too that 3DB will actually cease to exist very shortly, and it becomes 3TT.
Yes, I can understand the new owners doing this, Peter. They want to distance themselves from sport and racing as much as possible, but sad as I am to be leaving the place after nearly 35 years, I'm glad that I'm not there when it does change its name, because you know, that might be just a little bit too much for me.
Bill, you spoke about 3UZ and starting race broadcasts on Monday. I think it's fair enough to say there's been a little bit of criticism of 3DB over the past years. Will 3UZ do it differently?
Yes, it's going to be done differently. The main criticism of 3DB, of course, has been the 12 o'clock till 5 in the afternoon, the rigid hours. They will be relaxed, and as from Monday, it'll go back to 11:30 in the morning, which will cater for everybody. That will be following John Blackman and Ian Cover's breakfast, and then John Yost goes till 11:30, and there will be no restrictions at all on after 5 o'clock. So, you know, punters, everybody's going to be pretty well pleased with that, I think, Peter.
Well, one era ends today, Bill, and another one starts,
Yep.
but there's still a job to be done, so we'll let you have a look at your colours as they go to the stalls.
Righto, thanks, Pete.
Bill Collins will be rejoining Bill in a moment for the Caulfield Autumn Classic. Let's have a look at comparative. Are the dividends? Concord Flyer, $4.30 and $1.15. Zamakima, number 8, 70 cents. Number 6, Flying Gypsy, $1.50. Quinella, $5.40, and the trifecta, $79.75. Well,
Go straight in, and they're ready. Settling. Light. Racing. They've jumped away on a pretty good line. Century Judge quickly dropped out to last. Mr. Dynamite and Sky Chase together. Sky Chase has gone to the lead. Spacecraft being held up now in the centre, and Flotilla the outside. Here's a change at the 1600, and Sky Chase is in front. Now Flotilla's going up to take him on the outside. Spacecraft just in between them. 2 lengths, Mr. Dynamite, Lygon Arms and Last Century Judge. Flotilla the leader, and they're crawling up to the 1400. It's a little over a length to Sky Chase. A neck away Spacecraft. It's a farce. 2 lengths to Lygon Arms and Dynamite, and a length and a half Century Judge. Flotilla the leader. It's not even going even time, I don't think, at the 1300. A length to Sky Chase and Spacecraft together. 2 lengths to Lygon Arms, Mr. Dynamite, and a length away Century Judge. Well, they're on parade over the hill at the 1200. Flotilla pulling the boy out of the saddle, a length in front. Second Spacecraft, a half to Sky Chase on the inside. Outside at a half-length Lygon Arms, 1 to Mr. Dynamite and 1 to Century Judge as they commence to go down the hill at the 1000. They've taken nearly a minute for the first 800. The leader, Flotilla, a bit more pace, a length and a half Spacecraft, 3 parts Sky Chase the rails. Lygon Arms is moving up on the outside, a length to Mr. Dynamite and Century Judge the outside. Flotilla led past the 800, a half length to Spacecraft. Sky Chase on the inside, waiting for the run. Here's Century Judge coming 4 deep at the 600. Still no pace on. They're going a little bit now. And Flotilla's last is Sky Chase, but only 2 off the lead and under double wraps. It's Spacecraft heading off Flotilla on the corner. Lygon Arms wide, Mr. Dynamite. Sky Chase looking for a run as they enter the straight. Spacecraft shot away from Flotilla. On the outside, Lygon Arms. Sky Chase in the middle. Flotilla got knocked over. And the leader is on the inside still is Spacecraft. Sky Chase, he's run into a pocket on it. Mr. Dynamite the outside with Lygon Arms. Mr. Dynamite's going to get up and win. Mr. Dynamite has won. Lygon Arms second. Spacecraft third. Flotilla fourth. Sky Chase went where there was no room, and last was Century Judge. Stand by for placings in the unbelievable Caulfield Autumn Classic. And unbelievable is not a word that I use lightly. Number 5 is the winner, Mr. Dynamite, ridden by R. Heffernan. Number 5, Mr. Dynamite, R. Heffernan first. Number 4, Lygon Arms, ridden by B. Thompson second. And the judge has called for a photo for third placing. It has gone to number 7, Spacecraft, ridden by G. Willits. 5, 4 and 7 are the numbers. The time for the race, 1:55. About 7 seconds outside the record. Farcical, bordering on disgraceful, the running of the Caulfield Autumn Classic. Apparently the order was there that nothing was to lead, and so the jockeys acted to the instructions. Flotilla eventually went to the lead, but it was beaten before the home turn. Sky Chase, the other one sharing favouritism, they're nearly even money each of the two. It's dropped out to last. It seemed to have hung in and fixed Flotilla up when they turned for home, or so it seemed to the naked eye. And then it went in onto the rails. It was apparently hanging in, I would say, and it went to the post, hard held, in 4th placing in a field of 6. Extraordinary. The winner, Mr. Dynamite, by Best Western from Honey Queen, trained by Bob Hoisted at Epsom, ridden by Robert Heffernan. And it should pay $12.50 the win, $2.35 a place. Lygon Arms, $2.25. No third for Spacecraft. The crowd lets go. It's a Winfield Cup reception, and let's get on with the next.
All right, Bill.
The winner.
Well, I think that says it all out there at Caulfield. Certainly one of the most amazing races that I've ever seen. 5, 4 and 7 the numbers. Now, they're almost set in Adelaide for the running of the next event there. They're racing now, so here's Ron Paps.
Slowly was Battle Law. Gilmore no speed from the inside. Away nicely King's Onyx coming across, and so too with it is Telbon Miss the inside. Neo Classic between the pair, keeping King's Onyx wide. Sir Jules goes up there with them deep. Then in behind them, Gilmore pushing through on the inside of Sir Neville, and 3 deep around those then the Annihilator. 1.5 away then came Atlantic Prince on the outside. Over on the inside next was Battle Law, and a half to Pandy Sun. It's a compact field travelling on the side, going past the 700, where the leader Telbon Miss by a neck to a half length in advance of Sir Jules. King's Onyx having no luck, trap wide. In behind them, Sir Neville and Gilmore the inside of it. Then Atlantic Prince around Neo Classic. Pandy Sun's improved. It goes up third last, second last Battle Law. Last of all, the Annihilator homeward bound, 400 a run. And here as they straighten, Telbon Miss kick 2 in front of Sir Jules. King's Onyx is flat, getting to third. Sir Neville starting to work home, but only fairly, followed then by Gilmore. But Telbon Miss is going great guns at the 200, has a nice break, 3 in front. Now coming to second, Sir Neville. It's going to be too late. Sir Jules was next, but Telbon Miss, he hasn't had to go for the whip. Hands and Hills by Young Benz, it wins easily. Telbon Miss, 4 lengths to Sir Neville, 2.5 away. Then came on the inside, Sir Jules from Atlantic Prince. Gilmore, Neo Classic further back in the field. King's Onyx didn't get on the track. It's the old story. Didn't get into the race. Further back behind them, Pandy Sun and Battle Law and the Annihilator.
2, 4 and 9 the numbers as called by Ron Paps. The winner number 2, Telbon Miss. Second number 4, Sir Neville. And third number 9, Sir Jules. 2, 4 and 9. And the winner should pay about $3.50 for the win and $1.20 for the place. The second place getter number 4, Sir Neville, should pay about 75 cents, and third number 9, Sir Jules, about $1.70. Now the third at Victoria Park at 2:30, the Rancher Graduation Stakes, number 5, Sir Ivertan comes out, 13 running. And here, number 1, Dansker.